Coffee Axis travel podcast, where we take you on a journey through the world of news, culture, gastronomy, lifestyle, and tourism in the central coffee growing region of Colombia. I'm your host, Erin Donaldson, and inviting you to grab a cup of coffee and join me as we explore the intersection of travel and discovery. How is everyone today? How's your weather doing? Out the window right now, we're in the middle of a cloud because we're here in Manizales. Wherever you are, Colombia has so many different climates, so many different options, so many different experiences. Yesterday, I took a little side trip to Viterbo Caldas, and I wanted to show off my mulera. A mulera is like a cheater poncho. It's a really light, thin poncho that they use in the hotter climates. Check this out. Viterbo, Paraíso de Caldas. The paradise of Caldas. Isn't this cool? A wonderful, wonderful person gave this to me just as a welcome home present. I lived in Viterbo for 3 years and I haven't been back since January when I moved back up to Manizales. And so yesterday I went down for some content that I was filming, and Gabriela Lopez gave me this. I'm really excited about it. I really like my mulera, my new little poncho. I can't wait to wear it on my next cabalgata. It's gonna be great. So let's get down to business and get going with our podcast for today. We are now in the third podcast, and on today's episode, we will be updating you in the news section. We'll be talking about the Copa America tournament, a big win for the Industria Licorera de Caldas, the liquor industry. We'll be talking about the new law outlawing plastic in Colombia, what to expect, what is no longer available, what you should carry on you. And then in lifestyle and culture, we're going to talk about irregular verbs and some examples of that. Finally, we're going to talk about Manizales, the most beautiful city in Colombia. Maybe I'm biased. So, get ready to embark on an adventure that will awaken your senses and ignite your passion for exploring the departments of Quindío, Risaralda, and Caldas primarily. So let's dive into the rich tapestry of experiences that make up the vibrant world of travel and expat lifestyles. Welcome to the Coffee Axis Travel Podcast, where every episode is a passport to new horizons. In news today, we're going to start with the Copa America. Copa America is the world's oldest football tournament, having started in 1916. It has over 100 years of legacy. It's a contest between all the teams on the North and South American continents. This year, the games are all being held in the United States. As of now, or as of this last week, Colombia was 27 games without losing. As of last night on Wednesday, Colombia is 28. We're doing great. The big win last Sunday against Panama secured our spot in the semifinals, which started on Wednesday against Uruguay. And almost unsurprisingly, we won our game with Uruguay with a final score of 1-0. I didn't have time to watch it, but the noise levels of the neighborhood tipped me off. The next game will be the final on Sunday between Colombia and Argentina at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. According to Google, Argentina has a 42% win probability, with Colombia at a 27% win probability. Do you agree? Well, we are all in breathless anticipation to find out this Sunday. Also, starting as of last Sunday on July 7th, 2021, single-use plastics are now banned here in Colombia. Imagine that. And this is going to be more than just straws, California. Talking to you, California. This ban applies to all types of single-use plastic bags, including those for shopping, packaging, and other purposes. I don't know about you, but I've bought some new reusable bags lately. In fact, Juan Valdez here in Colombia had a really nice cotton bag, big one. I'm not a big fan of the of the Coffee Federation's coffee shop, but I do go there occasionally, and some of their products are quite nice. So check that out. Now, the goal of this ban is to reduce plastic pollution and protect the environment by encouraging the use of more sustainable alternatives. Businesses and consumers are encouraged to Businesses and consumers are encouraged to transition to reusable bags and other eco-friendly options to help minimize the impact of plastic waste on the environment. Outlawed items include plastic straws, California, stirring sticks, disposable gloves for eating foods like wings and hamburgers. So if you like to eat wings and hamburgers and you love how in Colombia they give you those gloves, guess what? Back to greasy hands. That's kind of a bummer, right? What else? We have also plates, spoons, forks, cups, trays, knives, platters, sticks on balloons, and even the plastic sticks in Q-tips. All of these are now outlawed here in Colombia, and you might even pop down to the mall and pick up a little package of those little boxes you can get that come with a fork, a spoon, and a knife, just so you can have something on you. Might be a good replacement. Because let me tell you, as much as I don't like plastic cutlery, it is convenient to have once in a while. Now you gotta carry your own, huh? One more thing in the purse. And for you men, I guess you get one of those keychains, that the fork or the spoon opens up on. Could be. Next in news, we have Aguardiente Amarillo de Manzanares. It's the story of an alcohol created by a campesino or country bumpkin in 1885 who had his special recipe and the sugarcane to make it with. This special recipe was eventually bought by the Licorera of Caldas, which is one of the most popular alcohol producers in Colombia. So let's talk about that. Today, Aguardiente Amarillo is one of the most popular aguardientes in Colombia. So much so that it was even outlawed in Bogota, the department of Cundinamarca, because the local government once tried to oblige locals to buy their own local liquor. They wanted to discourage people drinking so much of the licorera's products. And those products are now being exported around the world, and they've won quite a few awards. So, things did get kind of crazy when another liquor factory in Antioquia decided to manufacture their own version of this yellow spirit, calling it Aguardiente Real, which means royal. But of, but of course, there was a disagreement because, it was kind of like a copycat. Let's be real. It looked just like Aguardiente de Manzanares. The bottle was almost identical. Come on. Can you be more original? So, last week, the Industria Licorera de Caldas won its court battle with Licorera Antioquia. Effective immediately, Aguardiente Real, the bad copy, must be taken out of production and off of the store shelves. That's a win. If you're into drinking, and personally, I don't care for alcohol. I quit drinking hard alcohol a few years back, and I have less hangovers as a result. So, let's move on. In lifestyle and culture, we're going to talk about irregular Spanish verbs. Irregular Spanish verbs are like the rebels of the language, breaking the rules and adding a touch of unpredictability to the otherwise structured system of conjugation. These verbs do not follow the typical pattern of regular verbs, making them a bit trickier to use for language learners. From the infamous yo form changes in verbs like tener, or to have, to the completely irregular conjugations of verbs like ser, to be, and ir, to go, irregular verbs will keep Spanish learners on their toes. Now, we've talked about some of these verbs. Last week we had a special episode where we just did ser versus estar, right? So now we're going to work on some of the other irregular verbs, starting with ir. Ir. Ir is to go. So for as an example, yo voy. Yo voy. In South America, we don't say yo voy, we say yo voy. It's a little slight difference in the pronunciation of the Y. Yo voy a ir mañana. So let's go back and try that again. Yo voy a ir mañana. That means I'm going to go tomorrow. So we have voy and then we have ir. Ir is to go. It's the original form of that verb. So it's so when you want to say something, yo voy a ir y comprar una cama. I'm going to go buy a bed. Yo voy a ir mañana. I'm going to go tomorrow, right? Tú vas. So tú, you, vas. Vas. ¿Vas a comprar algo? So if we have a question, we don't need to include the word the to. We can just say ¿Vas a comprar algo? Are you going to buy something? You can just see some of these shopkeepers lingering and hovering around you, thinking to themselves, "Is she going to buy something? ¿Vas a comprar algo?" Él, ella, usted, va. So that's him, her, and you, formal, va. Okay? So tú vas, the informal, but if you're using the formal context of usted, it's va. Usted va a voltear a la derecha después del parque. So we're giving directions, right? Usted va a voltear a la derecha después del parque. So you are going to turn right after the park. Voltear a la derecha, where voltear means turn. So voltear a la derecha is turn to the right after the park, right? Usted va a voltear a la derecha después del parque. And again, I'm not a native speaker. I'm not even perfect at my Spanish. I just want to help you maybe go back over some of your Spanish lessons that maybe didn't quite stick and help you get into the swing of it by giving you some contexts, right? Okay. Nosotros, nosotras, vamos. So nosotros, mixed gender, men, everyone together. Or nosotras, us women, you can say nosotros vamos. So the group. Nosotros vamos a la una para el parque. So we go. Nosotros vamos a la una para ver el partido. Okay? We are going to go at 1 to see the game on Sunday, right? Nosotros vamos a la una para ver el partido. Ellos, ellas, ustedes van. So this is they, right? They in general, or they just talking about some women, or ustedes, right? So ustedes is another form of all y'all. Ustedes van, V-A-N, van. Ellos van en camino. They are on their way. Ellos van en camino. So they're going on their way, right? Someone calls you and they say, "Hey, where is everybody?" And maybe you're not going, but your friends are going. You're like, "Oh, ellos van en camino." Yeah, they're on their way, right? All right, next verb here. Tener. Yo tengo. Okay, I have. Yo tengo. Yo tengo dos hijos. I have 2 sons. Yo tengo dos hijos. I have 2 sons. Tú tienes. But again, when we're asking a question, we can take the tú off, but we know from the way that verb is conjugated that we're talking about you. So let's say you go to a friend's house that something. ¿Tienes algo para mí? Okay. ¿Tienes algo para mí? Do you have something for me? Did you buy me a gift? Did you bring me a present? Come on, I want to know. ¿Tienes algo para mí? Okay, it's silly, right? Él, ella, usted tienen. Again, the you goes with the third person because it's formal. It's a formal structure. So él, ella, him, her, talking in the third person, o usted tiene. Ella tiene mucha paciencia. Ella tiene mucha paciencia. She has a lot of patience. Nosotros o nosotras tenemos, we have. Nosotros no tenemos nada que ver con Armenia. Okay? If you've been wondering how to say we have nothing to do with that, like we don't have anything to do with that. For example, I've never lived in Armenia. My mother has never lived in Armenia. Of course, she lives with me, so it's subjective. So if someone asks me about tours in Armenia, sorry, nosotros no tenemos nada que ver con Armenia. Nada. I don't have anything to do with Armenia. I don't do much of anything there. Okay, I go there for tango milongas once in a while, but that's about it. Um, I don't find it to be a terribly interesting city. Nosotros no tenemos nada que ver con Armenia. We don't have anything to do with Armenia. And then finally, ellos, ellas, or ustedes tienen. So they have. Let's say you're in your Spanish class and the teacher comes out and says, ustedes tienen 20 minutos para completar el examen. Ustedes tienen 20 minutos para completar el examen. That means you guys, all y'all, have 20 minutes to finish the exam. Any questions? Feel free to leave a comment. If I pronounced it wrong, feel free to leave a comment. And if I'm slightly off in some of my grammar, please leave a comment and we will work on it because, again, I'm learning every day in my Spanish and it's always an improvement, it's always a growth. So, while they might be a bit challenging to memorize, irregular verbs will add a sense of depth and complexity to language, allowing for a more nuanced and expressive communication. Don't worry, embrace the irregular verbs as a spicy flavor that adds zest to the Spanish language and let their unique conjugations be a testament to the rich and diverse tapestry of the Spanish-speaking world. It's just going to take practice and memorization. There is no other way to explain why those irregular verbs are so irregular. And now we're coming down to the last part of the program. Time to wrap it up with our travel segment. Today in our travel segment, we're going to talk about life in Manizales. Nestled in the heart of the Colombian Coffee Triangle, or the Coffee Axis, Manizales is a vibrant city with a population as diverse as its stunning landscapes. Known for its picturesque mountains, charming architecture, and friendly locals, Manizales truly is a melting pot of cultures and backgrounds. From young students studying at the renowned universities to seasoned coffee farmers tending to their crops, the demographic makeup of Manizales is as varied as the flavors of its world-class coffee. With a mix of traditional Colombian customs and modern influences, Manizales is a city where age-old traditions and cutting-edge innovations coexist harmoniously. So whether you're a curious traveler exploring its cobblestone streets or a local resident sipping on a freshly brewed cup of coffee, Manizales welcomes all with open arms and a warm smile. In this city where the mountains meet the sky, the people of Manizales are as vibrant and dynamic as the landscape that surrounds them. So, a little bit of my personal experience. I live in Manizales, and the first time I visited Manizales, I was horrendously underwhelmed. We arrived at the city from Pereira, and when you look up at the city from the terminal, it's not the most impressive city. You see kind of the old part of the city, so this big mountain with all these houses coming down it. And we went on the cathedral tour. That was the pretty much the standard, typical tourism attraction of Manizales is to go and take the tour of the Corredor Polaco, which is the upper part of the cathedral where you go all the way to the top. You can look around, 360-degree views, the highest point in the city. Um, But I really had no idea what that unimpressive facade was hiding because the boyfriend I had at the time, my son's father, he didn't take me to El Cable or any of the other areas. And of course, he had no idea about the tango. In 2018, so this is probably around 2013, 2014, my first couple of years here in Colombia. In 2018, I started traveling once a week for tango lessons, and that was when I started to see beyond the unassuming mask that Manizales seems to show most visitors. First, I learned about the Calle del Tango, the only street of its type that had all the tango bars and dance clubs in one street. During the daylight hours, you'll find dance classes and women drinking coffee and chatting. Then in the evening, you will find the ones who crave that close embrace out vying for their attention and showing off their dance moves. Next, I discovered that Manizales has way more green spaces than Pereira. I lived in Pereira for 6 years, and Pereira, has its benefits. It's a very sport-oriented city. But in Manizales, we have five local eco parks where you can choose between bird watching and hiking trails, children's activities, sports facilities, natural forest scenery, and one that has hummingbird viewing areas, a butterfly house, bamboo structures, and a teleférico. Five eco parks, five different ways to go and enjoy nature. Manizales is also the university city of Colombia, with more than nine major university systems and several smaller extensions. You can study almost anything from coffee planting and barismo to legal studies or even medicine. It is also called the City of Open Doors. That's one of our nicknames. La Ciudad de Puertas Abiertas. You'll see it as you come in through the main entrance coming up towards El Centro, but you won't see it if you come in on bus. The thing is, there's two ways to come in. When you come in over the top, it's quite beautiful, and you see, oh wow, this is Manizales, and you go past Parque de las Aguas, all these fountains, and it's beautiful. But then you go in by the terminal, by the bus, and you see a totally different part of the city that's really kind of unimpressive. So there's a difference there. And so if you want to see the most beautiful uh, uh, view in the coffee axis, definitely have to check out Chipre. Then you will find out why Manizales is called the Sunset Factory, La Fábrica de Atardeceres. When you go to Chipre in the afternoons, you can walk along this really wide promenade. They have parks for children, tons of restaurants, nightclubs, you name it. There's a little bit of everything for everyone. But the best part is the very top where the food trucks are. And you can sit and just look out over this massive, beautiful view. And the thing is, they say at night you can see nine different pueblos. Now, if you go to San Jose Caldas, which I'll have a segment on one of these days, you can see Chipre on a clear day from the street in front of the church in San Jose Caldas. Also, the cemetery of San Clement between Anserma and Rio Sucio, you can see Chipre on a clear day. In Risaralda, they have this overlook viewpoint where you can see, you guessed it, Chipre on a clear day. So a lot of these pueblos that you can see at night also can look back at Manizales if it's clear enough. And I think that's just fascinating because it seems like it's closer than it actually is. Okay, so my dream come true when I discovered that Manizales not only had great quality of parks and views of the mountains, but they also have a ton of great coffee shops and restaurants. This is part of why I live here. Really, for me, Manizales has some of the best gastronomy, some of the best coffee shops and coffee culture. I mean, people here will take time out of their day to go and drink coffee. In Pereira, they will too, but not as much. You know what I mean? Pereira's a little bit more commercial, a little bit more moving along. Let's go, come on. So, there's different levels of uniqueness, right? So finally, in January of 2019, I moved to Manizales with my mom and my son. And we stayed here for 2 years, but then because of the pandemic, things got tough, and we moved to Viterbo Caldas. Remember I showed you earlier my mulero? Viterbo Paraíso de Caldas. I'm pretty proud of it, right? And so that's where I, became involved with the people in Viterbo and and learned all about the tourism of Viterbo, which I have a bunch of content coming out this week with interviews of several people who I have known for many years in Viterbo, but now I want you to learn about why this place is so special. And that concludes our show for today. In conclusion, I want to send a special shout out to anyone who wants to learn about the Coffee Axis, anyone who likes to drink coffee, anyone who might just be a podcast enthusiast. If you are intrigued by the world of Colombian coffee, by the possibilities of living in the Coffee Axis, and you are eager to explore the hidden gems of the Coffee Axis, look no further. When you subscribe to my Patreon channel for just $5 a month, the cost of a delicious cup of coffee um, in most parts of the world, right? You'll gain exclusive access to insider secrets, updates on all new podcasts, and a wealth of knowledge about this region. But wait, there's more. We also, as of this week, have a WhatsApp group. So now, anyone who subscribes either at the $5 or $10 subscription gets access to a WhatsApp group where, as more people begin to get involved, we're going to have some of our clients in there to answer your questions. We're going to have other expats in there to have discussions about the things you want to know, the things that we find. If you find a great shop that you want to recommend, this is your place to recommend it. It's an exclusive group only for my subscribers. And if you opt for the $10 a month subscription, you'll not only unlock the insider secrets of this Colombian Coffee Axis, but I'm getting ready to produce a series of special videos covering expat lifestyles, gastronomy, culture, regional news, and even travel. So dive deep into the vibrant world of Central Colombian culture, the Paisa culture, and the lifestyle that we live here with these exclusive videos. Join our community of coffee region enthusiasts and culture seekers today by subscribing to my Patreon channel at patreon.com/coffeeaxis_travel. Your support helps us continue to bring you high quality content and these exclusive insights. Don't miss out on this opportunity to immerse yourself in the rich tapestry of Colombian coffee and lifestyle topics. Subscribe now. And coming soon, as these podcast episodes begin to pick up a little more audience, which we're already doing pretty good. But as we get more audience, we're going to offer, my mind went blank. We're going to offer the opportunity for people to sponsor these episodes. That was the word I was looking for. I'm thinking patrocinaje on Patreon, patrocinaje in Spanish. We say patrocinaje, patrocinador, and all those things like that. So, sponsorship. If you have a business that you would like to position in front of this audience of foreign residents, this is it. Contact us. We have a special subscription for a long-term partner that is out there somewhere waiting to find this type of outlet. And you can email us at coffeeaxistravel@gmail.com for more information. And that concludes our show for this week. Be sure to reach out with any questions, coffeeaxistravel@gmail.com. Stay tuned. Subscribe to me here on YouTube. Every week, we're bringing you a fresh new show about lifestyle, culture, news, tourism, the questions you have. This week, I was going to have my mom speak about her experience living in Colombia. She was going to come sit in front of the camera and tell you about her life here. But unfortunately, she's one of the people who are currently stuck in this cold thing that's going around. So stay warm, wear a scarf at night so that the sirena doesn't get you. And my name is Erin Donaldson, your host, signing off until next week.